Hi, I'm Winston McCloven. I am live on location with Radio Free Winlove. We are here at the Kootenay Yoga Festival, and I am sitting here with Owen Nakamura. Welcome.
How's it going?
It's going well. How are you doing?
Doing really great. It's good to be here.
So, what can you tell me about what you are bringing to the Yoga Festival this year, Owen?
So, basically what I'm all about is getting people to switch their mindset from to a more sustainable, mind-focused kind of practice through a series of workshops that kind of promote health and well-being of not only the person, but also the environment around them, and kind of get people involved on being part of that connection process or reconnecting in a way that we don't normally get to on a day-to-day basis. So what I brought to the Kootenay Yoga Festival this year is a workshop on natural dyes, and they called it Natural Dyes for a More Colorful Future. And so what that entails is essentially showing people that they can use normal things around their house, like certain vegetables, certain plants, to make certain pigments in order to dye their own clothing and different kinds of fabric. With that being said, the reason why I'm bringing this to the Kootenay Yoga Festival is just because I'm trying to change the mindset on the fashion industry and the amount of pollution that brings to the world. It's the second biggest polluter in the world right now, and yeah, I'm just really trying to get people to essentially show them that they can do things on their own without having to go through crazy lengths to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
what can you tell me about your own personal journey that brought you to this?
Well, I went to school for horticulture back when I was 19, and through a series between 16 and 19 I did landscaping, and then decided to continue on with my education just through experiences and stuff like that. I just love growing things.
Mm-hmm.
And so I kind of figured, like, with the knowledge that I know and the knowledge that I gained through college and through different courses that I took throughout the years, what a better way to kind of group all of that knowledge into one source and have that knowledge be readily available for people, so that way I can teach people what I know in order for them to be more sustainable.
Mm-hmm.
And I keep telling everyone that I'm still learning as it is, and so let's all try to learn together in order to pass along that knowledge to future generations. So, yeah.
Where did your initial love of gardening and growing start?
I'd say it was from walking in my grandfather's garden. Because my grandfather was a prolific, I think that's the right word. Or
Prolific
gardener, yeah. I guess, or very proficient, and particular in what he grew and all that kind of stuff. And I just remember it was basically a Zen garden on an embankment that he made, and it was, it's still to this day like the best garden I've probably been in. And that's what really started my love for gardening, because I kind of saw how good it made me feel. And so for me to be able to provide that feeling to others, that peace of mind, but also contentment of being able to be more sustainable, is essentially what I strive for, is bringing something good so that way people can benefit from it.
Well, you also mentioned something about regenerative gardening.
Yeah, so that's my second workshop that I'm providing here at the Kootenay Yoga Fest. So I'm doing a regenerative gardening talk so it's talking about how you can do it within urban and rural environments. So taking it from a bigger scale and downsizing it so that way you can do it on your balcony, your patio, or even in your apartment if you needed to. So from outdoor to indoor, there's ways that you can garden regeneratively using the natural elements that the environment gives you, and being able to add things into the earth that is all natural as well. So it kind of gets away from the mindset of using chemicals and fertilizers and more into the mindset of using more of an organic approach. and just so that way it builds that relationship with the environment, so you're working with your environment as opposed to against it, because we can't control everything in an environment, and it's impossible for us to even try to think that we can.
How do you connect, like, so outside of the yoga festival, what do you do outside of the yoga festival?
I'm essentially a tutor. I teach people how to grow their own food. I do organic regenerative garden installations, and then basically troubleshooting people right into growing without having to go through the trial and error process as much. So as I go through the trial and error process, I essentially try to bypass people as much as possible away from that process, just because I feel like growing food and being more sustainable is top priority. And if there's a way that we can do it efficiently without having to waste as much in the process, then that's the best bet of creating community resiliency.
Well, I have a question. My cherry tomatoes aren't as sweet this year. What's going on?
Do you put a lot of nitrogen into your, do you put a lot of manure around your tomatoes?
I probably didn't put enough in this year, maybe.
Well, careful with cow manure.
Yeah.
Because I
used rabbit manure this year.
Oh, perfect. That's gold.
That's gold?
So rabbit manure doesn't get a lot of sun.
Okay.
Does it? Because I know that cherry tomatoes, they like a good amount of sun in order to grow juicy.
Yep.
Not too much sun because you don't want to scorch anything.
Yep.
But enough sun and enough water is the best bet, especially with the rabbit manure.
Yeah. Awesome. So, what are some of the other, just being at the yoga festival, what are some of the other parts of the festival that you've been excited about?
I just love the community aspect, because I truly kind of feel like this is somewhat kind of like an adult summer camp in a way.
Yeah.
Where we're all working together at the common goal of growth and healing as a community, even if we're on our different journeys or trying to figure stuff out. There's always that aspect of coming together as a family to do so. And that's what it kind of feels like for me, is that we're kind of coming together as a family, even if we may not know each other as much. It's that sense of belonging of we're all here together doing the work, essentially.
Right.
And that is inspiring on so many levels and motivating, especially since winter's around the corner. And so it's kind of like now we know who we can kind of talk to or connect with throughout the winter.
It's true.
In order to continue that community feeling that we all share here today.
Yeah, well, and the theme this year is raw authenticity. What does that mean to you?
Just being your authentic self. So being true to yourself, and what my partner and I essentially do is we always kind of check in and ask each other, what's your truth? And I feel like being raw and authentic and with one another, it's that vibe and feeling of being able to speak our truth on a deeper level. And I feel like that's what this weekend kind of represents, is not only speaking truth, but being truth as well, being within your own truth. And if you're not quite there, then this is the weekend to work towards that point, because I feel like we can't get there on our own, especially if we're trying to figure out what's true to ourselves. It's always nice to have a little bit of guidance and input from others on how to find our truth together.
Yeah, it's like that age-old saying of just be yourself, and it's like, sometimes we are so influenced by our outside environment to believe and act certain ways. I'm like, is that really who I am?
Yeah.
Or is there something else to me that's not that?
Totally.
And it's finding that, and it can be tricky, and usually it's community.
Yeah.
It's usually about surrounding yourself with good people who are also on a healing journey.
Definitely, because it's not a competition.
Exactly.
And I feel like the moment that we try to compete with one another is the moment that we become divided.
I'm more healed than you are.
Yeah. Or I'm doing more work than you are. It's like, we're doing work together.
Yeah.
You can take on more if you want, but that's all on you, essentially. Yeah.
Totally. So how do people find you outside of the yoga festival moving forward?
Well, I do have a Facebook page and an Instagram. My website is under construction at the moment, but that will be up soon. So you can find me at The Grand Gardener on Facebook or on Instagram. That's my business page, and like I said, I do programs and workshops here and there. I'm just starting because it's second year in operation, but it's definitely been a passion project of mine moving forward.
I can tell.
Essentially, I live by the proverb that it's better to be a warrior in the garden than a gardener in a war. And so I'm trying to inspire other people to become warriors in the garden as well, because the moment that we all become a warrior within ourselves is the moment that we can come together as an army and build that community resiliency. So my main goal is to build as much community resiliency through one backyard at a time.
Yeah, you're training all the soldiers.
Exactly. Yeah, because I feel like it starts from the ground up. The moment that we grow our own food is the moment that we finally realize that we have so much more control than what we're led to believe. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for chatting with me, Owen.
You're welcome.
Yeah, it was a pleasure meeting you.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Winston McLovin, Radio Free Winlove. Here we are at the Kootenay Yoga Festival. We'll see you soon.